season of challenge. We are here at Mugello, right outside Florence, Italy. Great track. We had practice on Sunday. That was the only day it did not rain. We went and qualified last night, but because there was so many red flags throughout all the other qualifiers yesterday, we didn't actually go on to track until it was completely dark out. And it was absolutely pouring rain. Somebody else crashed, red flag, and it was too dark to continue. So they stopped it after 4 total laps of qualifying. Luckily, it was good enough for me to qualify P3. And here we are now, it's race day. So here's the way this goes down. 1 race today, 1 race tomorrow. Those will be the last 2 races for points to determine the championship of North America. I'm currently in 3rd place in North America, so these points are absolutely critical for this race today and tomorrow, and then we'll see where we finish. Am I nervous? Yeah, I am. The rain's starting to pick up even more. I'm about to get in the car here in just a few minutes. If we get a podium, that would be a major bonus, but for right now, let's get on track. Let's get it around the track, not get taken out, not crash the car, and live to race another day. Wish me luck. Here we go. Let's give you guys an update on how race 1 went. Absolute torrential downpour. Actually, I was really a little surprised that we even went out and raced in those conditions. Almost 0 visibility. Got through the race. Ended up driving as well as I've ever driven in the rain. Driven a really great race at that point. 50 seconds left to go in the race, so I basically got to complete 1 lap. Safety car comes off there in the straightaway. We hit the gas going down the front straight. The guy in front of me is not in my class, so we're not really racing each other. I did not even want to try to pass him because I've just got to get one more lap in, and I take P1 in my class, and at the last second, he got too heavy on the throttles. I got his onboard, saw what happened, caused him to hydroplane. He hits into me and caused some major damage. And the biggest part of it was, though, I don't think race cars come with rear wheel steering. So when he hit me, you can see the damage here to the wheel. It broke both tow hooks inside. The car came completely off the suspension as well. So rear wheel turns in, I went dead left, right into the wall, took me out of the race with one left to go. So I go from P1 to last place. You know, absolutely gut-wrenching how that played out and the results of that. It took me all night long, quite honestly, to get over that. But today's a new day. We've got absolutely beautiful weather here today. We've got one last race from North America. By finishing dead last in that race yesterday, I went from third in North American points. I fell down to fourth by 4 points. So the person that overtook me is 4 points ahead of me. I have to beat that person today by at least 2 spots in the race to regain and ultimately take P3 in North America. So what we ended up doing, I had to rent another race car. I did rent one. I've never driven it. They don't give us a chance to take it out on track to do a shakedown. Mechanics went through it as best as they could. We tried to copy the setup that we've been working on with this car all week for this track as close as we could get it. It's a complete unknown. I won't know what I got until the green flag drops and I hit the accelerator and we see how this car gets around the track compared to mine. Here in Europe, if you have a chassis change, you get a 5-grid penalty. So rather than starting in P3 as I qualified for, I got to go back 5 spots on the grid. So listen, it's a lot of setbacks, a lot of unfortunate events, extraordinarily bad luck. I'm going to get back in it. We never quit. We always persevere. It's the way I've done everything in life. Here we go. It's a great day for racing. I got to race my ass off today. I basically have to win this race to guarantee that I end up with P3 in North America for this season. Let's see if we do it. Wish me luck. Here we go.
I was thinking of it like laid back, but whenever right before you pulled in, I'm like, you dumbass, like he's in pain.
Yeah. What'd you picture though? Let me see if I can do it.
Leg like this.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay. All right. Let's see how that looks. Can you do your other one? Because I'm gonna have you.
So we're back here at the warehouse. Going into race 2, which would have been the final race for North American Championship. Obviously, we ended up renting a car there in Italy for that race. The crew did an amazing job. They worked tirelessly, not only the evening before, but all day the following day to get that car as close to race ready as we possibly could. Going into race 2, the very first time that I drive that car, experience that car on track, get some idea, is the balance right? What are the quirks of this car, if any? What's working, what's not? How's the car rotating? How's it braking? All those kinds of things that you normally would sort out during usually like a half day, sometimes full day shakedown on a car. We weren't able to do. So the first time I got to experience that would have been in the moment, after the rolling start, when the green flag drops, going into turn 1, hitting the brakes. That was going to be the first time I was going to find out how that car brakes. Great weather for race 2, so racing in the dry. I'd been the fastest all week long, so we felt really, really good about not only starting in P3, but being able to get to P1 pretty quickly, given my race pace and how I had been testing and practicing on the track all week. Green flag drops, drop the hammer, and we go. And immediately get through turn 1 pretty good. Another guy in my class made a fantastic move at the beginning of the race. He just timed the green light perfectly well. Caught some great momentum going into turn 1, so I knew I was going to have to deal with him probably by turn 6 or 7 when I thought the traffic would thin out, and then I would be able to get into a fun battle with him. So it's funny how much you calculate in your head and you process, and I haven't even hit the brake zone yet at turn 1. I'm already anticipating it'll be about turn 6 or 7 when I get into this next battle there in class. And so it's amazing how quick everything happens in your mind in racing. But going into turn 2, which is a left-hander, ended up having a collision with a car that snuck up on the inside. And that collision has everything to do with why I was incapable of updating you guys in the moment after that race and telling you all about how that went and why it's about, I don't know, a week or so later, and I'm here at the warehouse bringing you guys the update. So going into turn 2, there was a collision up on the inside. In the moment, I thought I got dive bombed. Looking back at that person's on board, it wasn't quite a dive bomb. It was a very good aggressive move, but I'd already committed into that corner. He made his way up in it. So I can't call it a dive bomb, but it was a good aggressive racing move, and I got caught on the inside. Immediately, I started losing power on the car. That turn 2, we usually take in 4th gear. I'm in 4th gear when I got hit. I go back to power, and the car just bogged down. So I thought maybe that the ECU had gotten jarred or something like that. So I dropped down to 3rd gear, and it was still kind of boggy, but then the power came back on as I get through 2, and I'm coming out of going into turn 3. Going down from turn 3 to turn 4, same thing. I'm having trouble getting the car to get back on power, and I'm thinking, I don't know if the turbos aren't spooling up or what it is, but the car was running very soft and quite honestly just bogging down when I floor it in 4th gear, trying to get down to turn 4, had little to no power whatsoever. So I kept trying to go down to a different gear, trying to figure out, is one gear messed up in the gearbox from that collision? I didn't know, but I just knew the car all of a sudden was not running well at all. Knew something wasn't right with the rear end. I'm radioing the team, hey, the car's not wanting to rotate right. They said everything looked good on their end. Drive the car and see if whatever had happened from that little collision, if it irons itself out or what. Going into turn 10 was the last time that I would be braking in a straight line. Braking in a straight line is a great opportunity on track for me to drop my eyes down to my dash and try to see, look at my data points there. Namely, I want to look at tire pressures. I'm trying to figure out why this car's not wanting to rotate correctly. When I dropped my eyes down, it said brake alarm, which obviously was very scary. I didn't know if, maybe some of the sensors were a little bit off calibration from the impact going back to turn 2 there on the opening lap. All these things are going through your mind in split seconds, right? As you're going into 10, because, hey, I got to get back on power and make a right-hand turn. And as I just said, this car does not want to turn right without trying to over-rotate. So I'm fighting the car with all I can just to keep it on track, trying to find a gear, and I'm trying to figure out some combination of trying to get this car back on boost, because the power, it would bog, and then all of a sudden the power would come back. So I'm trying to figure out where's the boost range here, and I'm trying to find a way to race this car and still be competitive. I'm still in competition. I'm still in contention to hold my 3rd place North American final for the season. And there's 2 people ahead of me that I felt very good about being able to pass if I can just sort out what's going on with the car, I can still win this race. Coming into turn 15, which is the very last corner of the track before you go down the front straight and cross the start-finish line and start a new lap, I just thought, I'm going to push the car. I'm going to try to figure out what's going on with the boost. I don't really know. I come out of 15, flat out on the accelerator. The car did have power, especially as I got into the upper gears. So I'm thinking, okay, that's a good thing. Maybe I just try to manage it that way. And then about halfway down the front straight, car starts vibrating violently, and all of a sudden it just snapped dead right. I spun super hard, hit the wall, and I think the car spun another 5 or 7 times. I hit the wall so hard, and I braced for the impact. I knew it was coming. It was inevitable. That I was holding on the steering wheel so tightly that I ripped the entire steering wheel and steering column completely off the chassis. It was literally laying in my lap when the car came to rest, and there's just a steering wheel and the entire steering column and whatnot. The whole steering rack was just laying laying in my lap, and immediately the pain in my lower back was it was intense, to say the least. It was I sitting there in the ar. I felt like I'd just broken my back. I've had some other accidents on track before pushing the car. When you're racing, you're trying to go 10/10, and there's a lot of people that think they're going 10/10. In reality, they're not. They may be going 10/10 of their ability, but they're not going to the absolute limits of the car. And if you're ever going to be fast and you're ever going to be competitive, you've got to have not only the ability to take the car to its limits, but you got to know where those limits are. And you know, last season I learned where 10/10 was on the car because I tried to drive at 11/10 and I overdrove the car. I've hit the wall, I hit the wall at Watkins in turn 2 last year, sidewall failure on the tire, and I hit that wall at 141 miles an hour, but it was in a spin and it hit the front of the car and the car just kept spinning. This particular impact, the car spun, the rear end came around, and all of it went directly into that concrete wall, which sent all of the shock of that impact right through my lower back. So I get out of the car, they take me to the medics there on track, check all the vitals. I'm like, listen, I feel fine, but my back's not right. And I knew my back wasn't right. And also right here, I knew there was some pain in my, going kind of radiating across my chest and through my side. I felt that might have just been more of me bracing for impact and maybe pulled a muscle or tweaked something like that. So they lay me on the table, they're doing x-rays, and I've got this just huge ball of fluid already starting to form right on my lower spine. And as they're rolling me around on the table, like the fluid's moving up and down my spine. And it was just the creepiest sensation ever. And I'm going, oh my God, immediately you start thinking of all the worst case scenarios in your mind of what's wrong with your back. And then immediately, you start thinking about, how's this going to change my life? This could end up being a permanent injury. Yeah, I was afraid of what was going on, what news they were about to give me. And they come back and they say, listen, you broke your number 4 rib. And I'm like, all right, I've had, I kickboxed. I've had cracked ribs before. That's not, it's not great, but it's not the worst thing in the world. They told me that my back wasn't broken. And I didn't believe them. I was in so much pain. And I've got this floating sensation moving up and down my spine. At the time, I didn't know it was fluid. I just didn't know what it was. I just knew you're not supposed to have something floating up and down your spine. That's not normal. So we left the track, 45, almost 50-minute drive back to town where the hotel was, because Mugello, which is a fantastic circuit, is literally in the middle of nowhere. So it was almost an hour drive back, and I'm having to sit sideways in the seat as our fearless leader of social media, Anthony, drove the car back. Fortunately, we called Flory. They connected my wife and I with a clinic there in Florence that could see me the next day. They did a CT scan. They told me, so listen, had you not been, someone that works out regularly and been at a decent level of fitness, that basically the strength of that muscle, and that's where all the fluid was. I had a massive hematoma. I'd torn several fibers in that muscle upon impact of the car. But had I not had, some relatively decent back strength, I would have snapped my spine. So guys, as you get older, you got to keep hitting the gym. It definitely not only saved my spine, but God only knows I could have been paralysis. Who knows how bad it could have been. Yeah, Mugello, things did not go as planned. Just you know, an aggressive race move there in two. Sliced, come to find out, sliced my rear tire. So as I was going down that front straight, that tire blew and caused the car to go into a spin. There was absolutely nothing I could do, nothing I could do to save it. Just the tire had been sliced, and once going down that front straight, getting up to those speeds, the integrity of the tire had been compromised. It blew under the intense pressure of going that fast down the front straight, and put me in a spin. And once again, ended up not finishing the race. And now here I am, from about my mid-spine down to my tailbone is completely black and purple. Literally from top to bottom. I did drive for the first time yesterday. That was no fun, by the way. It's still a lot of pain in the lower back. So I'm driving very gingerly at the moment. Injuries will heal. But it's about the life lessons, and then it's about the direction moving forward. You know, the takeaways were, listen, race one, it's just racing. You know what? Things happen. It's beyond your control. Somebody not even in my class hydroplaned into me, put me into a spin, put me into the wall, and there you are. And those kinds of things just happen in racing. Racing it's an extremely exciting sport. I've had some of the times of my life racing. I absolutely love it. But there's a massive inherent risk that comes with that, and that's just the reality of participating in motorsports, especially if you're willing to take it to the limit, and there's 29 other guys on track that are willing to do the same. Racing incidents are going to happen. Race two, I was fighting that car after that collision. I'm radioing back my team. I'm trying to get their input back. These guys, they've spent their whole life racing. I came in the racing only recently, so I'm deferring to the experts to guide me and give me advice. But at the end of the day, the lesson for me is that I knew I was fighting the car. I knew something was wrong with the car. Not only did I have a power issue, but the car was not wanting to rotate. And now we know exactly why. That tire was compromised. I had to remind myself that when you're in the car, you have to trust your instincts. Yes, you have a team supporting you and you take the advice that they give you, but if your instincts are telling you there's something not right with that car, pit the car and live to race another day. By choosing to push that car and trying to see if I could sort it out while on track, that was me in the heat of the moment, not wanting to give up on the race, not wanting to give up on my season. Because that race, I had to perform well to maintain my point standing, to still keep third place in North America because of what happened on the first race the day before. It's hard to say that was wrong. If I wasn't the kind of person that pushed the envelope at everything I do in life, I wouldn't be sitting here with a $38 million car collection. I wouldn't have the business that I have today. I wouldn't have the life I have today. I'd have nothing of interest to bring you guys on YouTube about my life and my car collection and racing and all the things that we love to share with you guys. I wouldn't have any of those things if I wasn't the guy that will push the envelope in the moment. And there's just a reality that when you push the envelope with things in life, sometimes it bites you back, and it bit me back that day. Hindsight's always 20/20. It's so easy to play Monday morning quarterback, and I'm doing that a little bit with myself here as well. I will say, as much as I will continue to push the envelope, and yes, I will continue racing. I had a great season. I had so many more successes than I did setbacks. But what I will say is I will go in the next season just a little bit wiser in that, Lewis, if it's not right in the moment, let's live the race another day, because that accident very well could have resulted in permanent damage, and I wouldn't be able to do a lot of things in life. We'll be back at it. We start testing again, I believe, in January. The schedule next season looks phenomenal, and we got confirmation, which I'm super excited about. Talk about just a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We are the Ferrari Challenge Series. We will be the support race next year at Le Mans. So yes, I get to race Le Mans. Can't wait to bring you guys along with that. I'm so grateful for all the support you guys have given me, not only here on the channel, but with the racing. This is obviously a pursuit of passion and just trying to find out, can I be successful at something like this? And this season has been a resounding yes that I most certainly can. I think I had more first place podiums than anybody else in my class. So that's a huge takeaway. It's a strong indication that I'm taking this seriously. My hard work has been paying off. I push the envelope on things. Sometimes it bites you back. That's just what happens. You lick your wounds, you pick yourself back up, and you move forward, and that's exactly what we're going to do.